Hey everyone, welcome back to the Absolute Cinema Podcast. We're your hosts, I'm Eli.
I'm Jake.
And today we're talking some of our favorite movies of all time because we thought, we're doing this podcast about movies, but we should share which ones, we define as absolute cinema.
Pretty much.
So
we also don't become exclusively a Marvel podcast. This will kind of help us beat those allegations.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. I am always, of the opinion that, it's all subjective. And I'm like, there's no movies that are, objectively good movies or objectively bad movies. And, ones that, I just think a lot of people in the film realm get a little pretentious. You know?
Well, everyone has their favorites, so it's like...
So I think, we're going to share ours. Not that these are objectively good movies or, these are the best ones ever. Not the best movies, but just our favorites. Ones that resonate with us. And also, these lists can change, right? So
Exactly. I know mine will definitely change. That's why I can't lock down a favorite movie, because it'll change by, next Friday.
Yeah, it's these are just the ones that at this moment in time resonate with us. Or, when someone's like, what are your... We're just going to do, a Letterboxd for favorite. Jake, you don't have Letterboxd. You should get Letterboxd, but these are just
I probably should.
I'm reading off my Letterboxd for favorite, which are not maybe even necessarily.
I'm reading off a list
right
I submitted from one of my classes a few months ago. So
yeah,
this is pretty valid.
These are just ones that were these mean something to me. So Jake, you start us off.
All right. Well, this is one I'm going to start off with. I mean, if anyone knows anything about me, this people will see this coming from a mile away. So I'm just going to say that I can't really. I do have a specific favorite film from this franchise. I'm also wearing it on my shirt. It's Rocky. So I would say that that's my favorite film series overall, easily. But I can't. My favorite ones in the movie. I love the first movie. I think the first one gets better for me the more I rewatch it. But I've had to pick
first one's my favorite Rocky movie.
I do know that. It's again, who knows anything about me? Rocky's my favorite. Rocky's my favorite movie franchise of all time.
Yeah. So by the way, his other three are gonna be Rocky 1 through 3.
No! Don't do me like that. If I take a favorite one, I love the first one. I love Balboa. Rocky 5 exists. But if I had to pick a favorite one, I would probably say 3 is my favorite overall, but I really enjoy 4 simply for the popcorn movie factor. It's just a big popcorn movie. I just think it's really fun. Because it's just okay, bro. But it's just if you want
just Mr. T, bro.
If you want, I know what you're doing. I'm just saying why I didn't give you any reason to do that.
But you're talking about Rocky 3.
Yeah, I know, but there was no reason for you to do that. Anyway,
it's funny.
If you want quick shots on what I think about all of them, I think the first one's a classic and it's just absolute cinema. I think the second one's good. It's just personally, I think it's too much of a cash grab for me personally, and it drags in the middle when Adrian's in a coma. Rocky 3 is my favorite one because I love Mr. T, and to me it just feels like a big culmination of the whole thing. It's Rocky and Apollo were rivals in the first two, and they come together to beat this chump guy Mr. T plays. And it's just the bromance of Rocky and Apollo I really enjoy. And of course, that's also the song where Eye of the Tiger. This is also where Eye of the Tiger came from. That's a big thing. That's one of my go-to workout songs. Rocky 4, yes, it's just an American propaganda film, but I just enjoy it because it's just one big cheesy 80s popcorn movie that I love. And the training montage is easily my favorite training montage ever, where he climbs the mountain and he's just working like crazy in that barn. Again, Rocky 5 exists, and then I think Rocky Balboa tied the whole thing up in a nice little bow that brought it back home. And should have been left there, but that's a conversation for another day. But while I do have my solidified favorite from the Rocky franchise, I do say I love the whole thing as a package, and I think that's my favorite franchise overall is Rocky.
Yeah.
And as someone who has participated in sports, specifically cross country, which has nothing to do with boxing, I found these movies to be super motivational during my cross country days.
Yeah, you're a big Rocky guy.
I'm a huge Rocky guy.
And Jake also wishes he was born in the 80s.
I do wish I was born in the 80s. I wish I was this age in the 80s so I could experience all these movies in the theater, because I would love that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know. Okay, what's your first Letterboxd movie? I don't want to go on too far, because if it's Rocky, I'm just going to...
Are we going in order of first to last?
But yeah, let's just go I think we should just alternate. I say one, then you say one, I say one, you say...
No, I mean in order of wait. Am I starting with my absolute favorite movie of all time?
No, I think just
I'll talk about Groundhog Day first then.
Okay, I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting that you put Groundhog Day in there.
I love Groundhog Day. I love it's the Bill Murray movie where... You probably know what Groundhog Day is, but... It's the Bill Murray movie where he wakes up on Groundhog Day, he's a weather reporter, he hates his job, and then, he's forced to be in a time loop until he appreciates, I don't know, life or whatever. I love the time loop thing. It's so cool to me. And there's the Andy Samberg movie, which you haven't seen, but I've seen, Palm Springs. That's the clip of him dancing.
Oh, it's that one? Okay.
So Andy Samberg, what's his name? Akiva Schaffer, who's one of the Lonely Island guys. It's Andy Samberg, Akiva Schaffer, and Jorma Taccone. They're the comedy group. So Akiva Schaffer, one of his favorite movies is Groundhog Day, and he directed the Palm Springs movie, which Andy Samberg is in, which is it's a time loop movie again. So it's like Groundhog Day. And I love the time loop thing. I just think it's awesome. And in Groundhog Day, I was not expecting where it would go, and it totally like makes use of that to its fullest extent to places that I didn't even think it would go. Where like he knows the exact second at which things are going to happen because he's just he's been there for like 20,000 years or something, reliving the same day over and over again. And so he kind of like he does everything that he could possibly do in this little town within this day. Like he does everything that he possibly can. He like knows he robs a bank. He like tries to kill himself over and over again. Like that just to me is just so fun.
I can see
and
that.
I think they totally like 100% utilized the time loop thing, and it was just like so original and unique. And I've never seen anything like it. And I was just totally satisfied with the premise. Like, I just think it's a fun idea, and they utilize it to its fullest extent. And there's so much to say, like, psychologically and, with the philosophy of the movie. Like, there's so much to talk about there with how, the themes about life and him experiencing life. Yeah. And, like, I think it was just utilized so well. And I just love Groundhog Day because, it's fun, it's funny, it's weird, like it's kind of a weird premise. It's weird, with this, like he's just reliving the same day over and over again. He's kind of immortal, basically. Yeah. But it's heartfelt, and he tries to get this girl too, and she rejects him over and over again, and like it's just cool. It's fun, and I think they totally.
It's a very creative movie. I'll give it that. Yeah.
Yeah, we watched it together.
Yeah, we did. I thought it was really. I think it was probably my favorite Bill Murray movie.
And Bill Murray is a standout. He's great. He's super funny.
I mean, he's known from. That's my first movie where I'm like, oh, he's more than just a funny guy. He can actually like do a serious-ish role. Yeah. I think other than Ghostbusters, that's probably my favorite Bill Murray movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think his performance is really great. He elevates it with his performance. Mm-hmm. I think the premise and the writing are really good. So that's just one of my favorite movies.
Nah, I get you.
Like I watched that and I was like, it's one of my favorites ever. I love it. So
I get you.
What's next?
Kind of in that same like realm of like 80s. Then that came out in the 80s, right?
No, it was like late 90s.
Okay, well, in a similar-ish time frame, going off of this, another big movie. I don't really talk. Some people might be surprised by this, but like, I haven't really talked about this one very much. But I really love Back to the Future. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It's just there's something about that movie that I just love.
I think anyone who knows you would say that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean
it's still from the 80s.
Exactly. Everyone's expecting me to say Rocky, but I don't think I just don't talk about it ever. So it's just I think people. That's why I was just saying people who know me might be surprised. I'll say Back to the Future. Right. But I just think it's just a classic movie that like I don't watch it very often. Whenever I do, I'm just like I love this movie.
I mean, it's one of the greatest.
I love Christopher Lloyd. I love Michael J. Fox. I think Michael J. Fox is like the free Tom Holland. Like I just think he's great. And it's I just love the story where it's like he goes back in time, he messes up his parents' marriage, and then it's like he has to fix it just before he gets back to the future. I mean, it's a very like pedestrian plot, very simple, but it's like I just love it, and the soundtrack is killer. Like I remember when they announced the Deadpool Wolverine soundtrack, and they said "Power of Love" was on there. I got really excited because I love this song from this movie. I just got excited for that, but. It's just Back to the Future. Back to the Future to me is just such a classic. Like, I mean, sure. I mean, there's obviously the debate of like, should they remake it? I mean, obviously, I know the director doesn't want it to be remade, but I think the idea could work. I mean, this is the hot take maybe, but I think the idea could work in a reboot section. But
I agree.
You can't beat the chemistry between Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. Like, there's no beating that. And it's just such a time like
someone pointed this out to me the other day, or not someone pointed out to me. I saw it was like a comedian or something. He pointed out they never explain how Doc Brown and Michael J. Fox are friends.
That's true. Almost like
why is this teenager friends with like a nuclear physicist? Like how are they?
Who like steals technology?
Yeah, like how did they meet? How are they best friends? Like
I actually would kind of like to see that though. I mean, obviously they could never make it, but I would actually like to see like how did these two end up?
Like they never mentioned it. How did they meet? Where did they meet? Like
yeah, he must have just met him off the street, I guess.
That's really funny to me, but yeah, I mean, Back to the Future is one of the greatest of all time. You know, like it's one of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Soundtrack's great. The story's great. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's a few stuff that's a little bit sketchy in today's world, but I just think it's just a classic. Like, I'm just like, pun intended. It's a very timeless movie in my opinion. I think
so too.
I just think it's a great movie. I just love to just pop in, not super often, but I just love to pop in. I'm just like, wow, I love this movie.
It's just, I mean, it's well thought out. You know,
Yeah.
like even
I don't really know why. It's just there's something about it. It just clicks with me, and I'm just like, I love this thing.
well, yeah, I think it's just an absolute classic.
Yeah.
Absolute cinema.
Absolute cinema, indeed.
Yeah. I'm gonna say next mine. I'm gonna go with Edward Scissorhands. I like Tim Burton a lot too. Like,
Yeah. Tim Burton's good.
I really respect. I mean, I always respect someone like Tim Burton who has a super distinct style. You know when you're watching a Tim Burton movie.
That's true.
You know when you're watching a Tim Burton movie, and I think there's something to say about that. You know, especially in today's world where a lot of movies feel like they were made by a studio. You know,
Yeah.
like every time Tim Burton makes a movie, he has a distinct style, and I love his kind of stories because they're like
They're always about these weirdos.
Yeah, they're so odd and weird, but like they bring out such human emotion too. Like Edward Scissorhands, it's such a beautifully tragic story, I think, and Johnny Depp's performance I think is amazing.
That's one of his best.
I think Johnny Depp
ever.
is the best living actor right now. My favorite. I'd say, in my opinion, he's the most talented living actor right now. I just think the way he
that's valid.
disappears into roles, or at least one of. The way he disappears into roles, the way he plays different characters, the way they move are different, the way they talk are different. So his performance is just amazing. Like, you really care about Edward Scissorhands as a character. And the way the movie ends, it's just kind of, it's really, sweet and it's beautiful. It might be a little, like, familiar maybe, or I don't know, or like simple. It's a very simple plot,
Yeah, of course.
but to me it really works. I think it's just like, it's original, and it works for me because I like kind of the weird stuff, and Tim Burton's weird, so I like a lot of his weird stuff.
I get that.
And it's Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, Johnny Depp. That's a recipe that I don't think is wrong.
Yeah, no.
And I like the sweetness of Edward Scissorhands. I just like the movie. I think it's weird, and I think I like a weird premise that like brings out a very human emotion. I'm always a sucker for that. Like the guy has scissors for fingers.
Exactly.
Like it's weird, but it like brings out this very real human emotion about feeling distant or other than, and finding your place, and like I just and love, and like there's this love story that's kind of a tragedy, and whatever, like I just liked it. I'm always a sucker for a movie about feeling other than as well. Or feeling, disconnected from the people around you. I think that's cool, and I think it's executed well. I think it's just a great movie all around.
No, I get that.
Definitely one of my favorite. Personally, it just resonated with me. I love it. I think it's great.
No, totally. Okay, this next one I have, we kind of share this one. I know we definitely share this one, so I think we can just kind of talk about it together. La La Land. I think we can both kind of agree on this one, so we can kind of just talk about it together, because I know we both have this on our list.
Yeah, La La Land is my favorite movie of all time as of this moment.
La La Land is like in my top 5, I would probably say. I know I have a very inconsistent list, but I would say La La Land's at least in the top 5.
I love La La Land.
La La Land is fantastic.
I love musicals.
Like just from the opening scene to like as the story as it goes along, it's just like this is cinema. Like it just starts from the whole thing, and then it's like you see like throughout the seasons, like it's like you point out, it just gets darker as it goes along. All the bright colors just get darker as it goes along, and that's just it's little stuff like that. I mean, it's basic, but it's just little stuff like that that's like makes it entertaining.
I love musicals. I love La La Land. I love the ending. I do love the ending, and I think
I do too. I think the ending's great.
I think there's a reason it's like really popular and stuff. Like it's. I think it works. I think all the reasons why it works for everyone, it works for me, and I love the music is awesome. I love Ryan Gosling. Who doesn't love Ryan Gosling? And Emma Stone. They're great together. I mean, and
they teamed up like 3 times, so like how can they not be great together?
I mean, I just love Damien Chazelle because we like Whiplash too.
Yeah,
I like Whiplash a lot.
Whiplash is great,
and I think that this movie really does. I mean, it's. I love the idea of it, how the love is bigger than the two of them, and like the fact that they don't get together in the ending.
Makes for a rich story.
Makes it more romantic because like it's like. They don't get together, but the love that they shared still continues on in like other ways. Yeah. I think that's a very romantic idea, and I think it's a very it subverts your expectation because you want them to get together. But the fact that the ending is so tragic, the ending doesn't work if you don't care about the characters, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And they did everything right to make you care about the characters in the movie, both Sebastian and Mia. Like you care about them. Me and Sebastian's theme, the piano thing, is
Yes. Oh my gosh.
like it's great. The music is great. The cinematography is awesome. Damien Chazelle has a super cool style, and when it's just the dance sequences, the way the camera moves, the acting, the performances, it's all great. I think it's just a super well-made movie. It works on all the ways that it should work.
Oh, definitely.
I think it's a classic. It's timeless. In the beginning, you kind of have a hard time figuring out what time period it's even set in.
It's kind of modern day, but it's also kind of like old retro a little bit. So
it takes place in the modern day. It takes
Yeah,
place
it feels
when
like
it was filmed. But you can't like when I showed it to someone for the first time, they're like, when does it take place? Because it's like it has such a timeless feel.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's calling back to all these classic movies. Like
they
Singing in the
reference
Rain.
all these old musicals are referenced throughout.
Yeah, but it still feels, to me, it feels so original and so its own thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, and I think the ending works so well. And I mean, all the reasons that it should work, it works for me. And I just love the vibe of it too, and the colors and the cinematography. I think it's pretty much a perfect movie. I think it's executed exactly how it should have been, and it's just great. It's a love letter to LA. It's a love letter to creative people and creative stories. Artists. It's a love letter to film and music and jazz music. Damien Chazelle loves jazz music, I guess. It's just great. I love it.
No, I get you. I definitely think it's a great, it's a very well made movie that is just fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason, like in your film class, there's a reason why you use it as an example.
Yeah, my film class used that example for several topics, and I was like, I'm not complaining. I'm just gonna sit here just enjoy.
Yeah,
this
like
thing.
it's an example for a lot of things.
Exactly,
how to write a great ending, how to write great characters, how to so much.
Or just he talked about it when I learned about it in my class. It was like they use it for like choreography and like editing. Editing was the one they used it for, and it was just like wow.
Yeah, it's Damien Chazelle wanted to make it for so long. And the story behind it is,
he made Whiplash in order to get La La Land.
Yeah, but he made even a kind of temp version of it like 10 years before, and it's almost like the same thing. But it's obviously super low budget.
Yeah.
But it's such a labor of love and passion. I will glaze it all the live long day.
Sam.
I am like the Krispy Kreme when it comes to the amount of glaze I'm pumping out for La La Land. Like, I'll never stop.
I got you.
I'll never stop glazing La La Land. It's a masterpiece. I think it's a masterpiece.
I think
Favorite ever?
Yeah, this one. I think this one favorite movie just period. I just think that movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
Endgame is another one that I throw as an honorable mention. I don't know why. Again, this could be on my list by like next week, but just that first movie experience, I will always carry with me for like ever.
Yeah,
and I will always have.
Great.
And again, it's a perfect ending. You know this about me. I'm a sucker for a climactic ending that pulls everything together. That's why I love the final episodes of Cobra Kai so much, because again, it was like a big finale that pulled everything together. So like, if you notice, I'm a huge sucker for endings, and so I think Endgame is like the pinnacle example of how you do a great ending. Always carry that. And I also say with Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, I think some people might be wondering, because I know some people, if anyone knows me, my favorite Marvel character is Spider-Man. So people like, if anyone's wondering what my favorite one is, I'd say Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire is my favorite. Because it does the best job of understanding how the balance of being Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So those are some honorable mentions, but if I had to pick one more, this is a tough one, because like any one of these could be on my number 4 spot for today's episode. But if I had to pick one, like just for little reasons, I feel like I have to put this one here. I would say probably Star Wars: A New Hope would go on this list as of right now. Again, any one of these I mentioned could take that spot. But as of right now, I'm just kind of feeling it. I kind of want to give Star Wars his attention. Like from middle school, that was like my whole mojo was Star Wars. Like I watched the OG trilogy all the time. I watched the prequels a lot. I watched Clone Wars. I literally watched almost every single Star Wars thing under the sun that you could like watch at the time. Like Han Solo was like my favorite. It doesn't feel like it at all. And so it's like just this classic, just hero's journey, like good versus evil. And it's just great characters like Luke Skywalker, Leia's great, Han Solo, I think is great because I love Han Solo.
The glaze.
Yeah, it's real. I even like Chewie. I even like Chewie. Like Chewie doesn't do much, I feel like, but Chewie's just there. He's just like an extra spice person. And then it's just a classic film. Like again, any one of those ones I mentioned could take the spot. But as of right now, I'm feeling Star Wars. I'm gonna give it its respects. I did watch. Out of all the Star Wars movies, I think that's the one I've watched the most.
Really?
Yeah, that's definitely because again, it's the first one. That's why it's my favorite one. Because I'm like, I know that's what you say about Rocky, but it's like for me, for Star Wars, it's like the OG was the best one. That's just me. I know Some people like to say Empire. Some people may say Revenge of the Sith. But for me, I'm just saying I like to say A New Hope's the best one.
I generally lean towards Empire, I think, just because.
Well, the story,
I love it.
The story is great.
But A New Hope, I mean, yeah, that's the formula. You know, like it was the first.
Yeah.
And it's so classic, and it's so like it's also but so iconic at the same time. You know, and like new and different and fresh, and it's just revolutionary.
Yeah.
So you can't go wrong with A New Hope. Definitely, like that's a great choice. Yeah.
Do you have any honorable mentions that you just want to throw out, like not that you can just think of?
Maybe I'd throw Whiplash in there then.
I was gonna say
because I love Whiplash, and I think that's just a great movie. It's intense, you know. It's everyone who's seen Whiplash knows that it's awesome. So I don't think it's, like, you know, like it's like me saying why it's awesome is like kind of redundant, like because like it's a great movie. It's just like I love Damien Chazelle, so like I just love his style. I love his directing. He's just great. So Whiplash would be one.
Yeah, you can go ahead to your last one.
So my last one there would be WALL-E.
Okay, yeah, I knew this one was coming.
Yeah, I love WALL-E. I think it's such a beautiful movie. I think it's, you know, the greatest animated film of all time. And I think it's just one of the best movies ever. It's such a beautiful message, a beautiful story. And I love a post-apocalyptic or like a, you know, dystopian future thing. I'm always for that. You know, the world's covered in trash or whatever. It's so real. Like it's a concept that is so like it feels real. You know, like it feels like we can get there. We can get to that point where the world is covered in trash, and it's like it's scary, and it's like
exactly.
But it has such an optimistic message too, and there's this optimism and hope to it.
And there's even like a point in the movie, like the whole first hour, there's no dialogue, and that's just crazy to me. That's why I have so much respect for it. Because it's like they make a great story, but there's no talking. It's these two robots, like having a love story, but there's no talking. They have a connection, but you can't tell what they're saying to each other. It's an hour into the movie, and that's when the humans show up, and then there's talking.
I think it's some of the best visual storytelling ever.
And then when they get back to the planet, they ditch the humans, and it goes back to no speaking. Like for like when they're trying to like get WALL-E to remember everything.
Yeah, it's great visual.
I mean,
storytelling.
it's not as long, but still, there's not as they go back to the silentness, which I think works really well. It's almost like 2001 Space Odyssey, because it's like the first hour, no speaking, middle act, there's talking, and then the final act, there's no talking again. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of homages to that kind of thing. Yeah. The sci-fi stuff. But when the people are talking, the writing is also really great, I think, as well. It's just like Space Odyssey 2001. It's such a well-rounded movie. Like, I just think it's, you know, I love the story, I love the message, I love the characters. You really care about WALL-E and Eve, you know, and you also care about the human characters once you get to the accent. Exactly. And there's nefarious characters, but really the threat is just like the desires of man, you know, and that's like it's. I love a dystopian future, and I love that. It's just, I think it's just a perfect movie. You know, the themes about, you know, it just feels so real, and it feels so like it just touches on things that I think are so universal, and just it's just great. I love it. I think it's just awesome. So I love WALL-E. No, I got you. Yeah, it's great. So there you have it. There's some of our favorite movies. See, there's no pretense here. There's no pretentiousness. It's just stuff that we gravitate towards. Like, look at his. His is a lot more like well-written stories with like director's flair, and a lot of mine are just like big blockbusters. So that just kind of lets you know what kind of people that we are. 80s, like. And like I'm not necessarily 80s, just blockbusters in general. Well, yeah, and I'm 18, Jake's 19, almost 20. We're young adults, so like our tastes could change as we get older too. And they definitely will. Definitely. So there you go. There's some of our favorites. If you want to let us know what your favorites are, some of your favorites, let us know down below in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Do you disagree with anything that we said about these certain movies? I'm really curious about that, actually. Yeah, make sure to subscribe or follow if you haven't already. We want you guys to stay updated. We're just starting out, so support us, and we'll see you guys in our next episode. Soon we'll be having a special guest on, and we'll start getting guests, so that's exciting. We'll see you guys in our next one. See ya.